Hey everyone, we have a new activist investor situation to watch in shares of Honeywell. This is a big conglomerate, ticker symbol HON. And I think the reason why it's interesting is because it lines up with some very clear, obvious levels on the charts as well. So basically what's happening is, and I'll share with you the chart here, just might as well. This is one of the news articles, and you can see basically Elliott Management, which is a big famous activist investor. They have taken a stake in the company, meaning they've kind of taken risk in this position, meaning they have a lot of confidence they'll be able to push through what they want. And they wrote in their letter that they think this to really fully unlock the value, the company should be split up into two parts: aerospace and automation. We've actually seen this in other companies as well recently. GE did a spin-off, and this happens all the time. It's nothing completely out of whack, and they think they could literally see the stock up 51 to 75% over a 2-year period, is what Elliott believes. That's obviously a valuation call. What about the charts? If we just look at this company and we look at the share price, we notice here in a long-term weekly chart, the stock really hasn't done anything since 2021. So that's, let's call it a little more than 3 years at this point. I think it peaked in the summer of 20 or thereabouts, August of 21, until this week on the upside. And so if one were to ignore all the news now from Elliott Management, the activist investor news, and one were to just look at this from a purely technical perspective and say, oh, we got a breakout, one could now do some very simple math and say, okay, well, this consolidation phase that the stock was in until this week for the past 3 years was this wide, meaning, so this, I took a blue line, went to the high of it, to the low of it, and that's roughly how big this consolidation phase is. And you can then take that line and add it on top of the breakout point that we just reached now so far this week. The week is not over, of course, as I'm recording this, so it still has to stick a landing on a weekly closing basis. And one could see an upside target of ultimately, let's call it around $300. It's not a target for today or tomorrow, but over the course of time. And that's about 30% higher. Now, 30%, if you kind of look at this with what number we said before, they were talking about the stock being up 50 to 75%. Well, they were probably talking about that from a little bit of a lower level, so you get the $300 level roughly, although I think Elliott's is probably a bit higher, to be sort of a target. So, if this is something that interests you, this is something I think that's worth following, because it goes a little bit deeper into seeing how a corporation actually functions. It'll be an interesting one to watch. And again, I would argue that 300 level, it's reachable over the course of time. One can do options trades on this as well, of course. Like, for example, on a situation like this where there's probably not that much downside, using bull-put option spreads is an idea, right, that one could explore. So anyway, it's an interesting one. Hope it helps, and we'll see you again soon.